Alright, Schlockmeister fans, another re-review from my previous channel. Torso. Let's check it out. Our movie starts out in college. That's the professor.
Ignore the intensely spiritual aspect of the figure. Why, it's practically overflowing with holiness.
Is that how it strikes you?
Yes.
Then we have a couple getting hot and heavy in a car as a stalker comes by. At one point the guy got out to investigate, and then when she goes to check on him, she becomes the next victim.
If I should get a couple of invitation tickets to an Academy concert, you wouldn't mind coming along?
I'd love to. In fact, I'll count on it.
Thank you.
Here we got a swinging party.
Whatever you say.
Later on, one of the chicks from the party becomes our next victim. So we clearly have a serial killer, and if you look closely, there was a red and black scarf. It's the killer's trademark. He chokes them all with them. The cops warn everybody.
Our scientific analysis leaves no doubt whatsoever. We have traced these fragments to this foulard, which was used to strangle Carol Peterson. Her body was then mutilated in the same manner as Signorina Heineken.
Hello?
A word of advice. If you want to be spared, don't try to recall who you've seen wearing that foulard. Or else the colors red and black could mean to you what they meant to you.
Who is this speaking? I'm afraid. Don't leave me alone.
Then, just pack up and go away for a while. To the country house. The air there would be good for your nerves.
Alone?
I go too, but there's this business.
That's her uncle.
It's fair to leave you by.
These silk prints. But, I mean, they're rather ordinary. I have some right over there.
Ever sell this foulard?
I might have sold them, of course. I can't recall them all.
But can you...
You know. I'm Johnny Tomato, the scarf seller in the Gap. Because this afternoon the inspector was snooping around. I believe I should sell them business.
I've got to speak to you. You're going to listen. You have to.
I don't! Jane, it's terrible.
So Danny's going to invite Jane and a couple of lipstick lesbian friends of hers, and they're all going to go to this villa.
No, Jane, I remember it so well.
So that guy, the salesman who sells those scarves, he won't be identifying the killer. These are the two lesbians. Little do they know that there's somebody outside spying on them. Later on, Jane somehow falls down the stairs, twists her ankle, but she's okay.
Look, Jane. I'm okay. But where are you?
The doctor comes by to fix her up.
Paris. It sounds as if you were calling from the next room.
Later on, they open the door for Stefano, but Stefano has seen better days. Now, Jane was asleep with a sedative,
Hey! I'm hungry.
so whatever
Aren't
events
ladies supposed to have their breakfast in bed?
occurred the night before, she wasn't privy to. And when she comes downstairs, she finds her friends, or what's left of them. Well, it turns out the killer isn't gone yet. In fact, he's using a saw to cut up his victims. Eventually he leaves, and then he locks up the house, though, so she's kind of trapped in there. Is that the killer? No. That could be. He comes back to the house, and now she needs to hide. So she cleans up a bit to make it look like no one's been in that room.
Whose is it? Belongs to one of the girls staying up there at the old villa. Broke the spring. I repaired it myself, but she hasn't picked up the car. I drove it up there myself. They were all gone.
She waits a long time, then she does come out, and it's Franz, the professor. I believe it's the professor.
Don't look at me like that.
Careful.
Of all things, he was traumatized by an event when his brother, as a child, fell off a cliff. It happens. Well, then he comes after Jane, of course.
Why'd you come here, Jane? Why? You idiot!
But then the doctor shows up, saves her, and goes after him. They get into a struggle by, I believe it's like another cliff type thing, and that's the end of our killer and the end of our film. All right, let's talk about this movie, Torso. Had this movie in my collection since probably the spring of 85, 1986, something like that. Had on the same tape with Autopsy. Autopsy and Torso seem to be two films that have been tied to the hip with each other forever. So, but anyway, this is a 1973, I believe, giallo film from Italy, starring Susie Kendall. The basic plot of this movie, again, these giallos are kind of like all over the place, but the basic plot of this movie is that there's a serial killer running around this town in, it's called Periglio or something like that, in Italy somewhere. And he's killing people, and he's killing people with this like red and black scarf. And this one lady, Danny is her name, the police come by and say, you know, they're warning all the people, hey, if you see anybody with a scarf like this, you know, this is the weapon used, blah, blah, blah. Well, she remembered seeing somebody with a similar scarf, but she can't remember who. But anyway, the serial killer keeps striking people, killing them. Ultimately, Danny and three of her friends, including a couple of lesbians, and then this other chick played by Susie Kendall named Jane, they go out to this villa to, I don't know exactly what they're doing there. It's like the uncle of one of them put them up there. So they're staying there for a while, but the killings keep happening. One day Jane falls down the steps and twists her ankle, so she's kind of bedridden for a while. The other chicks kind of take care of her, but then the killer breaks in and kills all of them. Now Janie had taken a sedative, so she like slept through the night and was very quiet. Killer didn't know she was there. When she wakes up in the morning, she catches a glimpse of the serial killer after killing her friends, is then like chopping up or slicing up, cutting up her friends and getting rid of the bodies. Well, the killer then leaves and locks her inside there, not knowing that she's in there, but eventually he figures out that she was in there. He comes back to try to kill her, and then Jane and the killer get into a struggle. Eventually this doctor guy shows up. We learn who the killer is. It was some sort of anthropology professor or something like that. A lecturer or somebody that she kind of knew, befriended, whatever. He had some sort of traumatic childhood memory where his brother fell off a cliff while he was trying to reach for some friend's doll or something like that, some kind of garbage like that. Anyway, the doctor comes in and has a big fight with the killer there. They struggle. They go outside. He ends up falling to his death, and that's how our movie ends. Torso. So anyway, again, these giallo films are just so hard to follow sometimes, just weird. This one's chock full of nudity though, so that's kind of nice. Plenty of boobs and stuff in this movie. The violence is pretty good too, actually. Some nice gore scenes in this movie, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Again, these giallo films, I don't know, they just don't resonate with me quite well, and I don't know why, because you'd think this is a style I would really enjoy, but I just have a hard time getting into these things just because they're so convoluted. I don't know how to describe them, but whatever. Anyway, there's enough sex, violence, and nudity to get us through to keep me interested for 90 minutes. So anyway, that's it. That's Torso. This was put out by Anchor Bay. My guess is it's been put on a Blu-ray since then. I've had this in my collection for a long time. I think when I reviewed Autopsy last week, I explained that my Schlockmeister brother Jeff, who stood up in my wedding back in the year 2000, you're supposed to give all your groomsmen little trinkets of some sort, like a watch or a engraved something or other. And I did that for all the groomsmen except him. I gave him 2 DVDs. One was Torso, one was Autopsy. then a few years later, when he had to cut back his collection because he had some kids being born and didn't have space for them all, I ended up getting autopsy and torso back. So there you go. Check it out. Leave some comments and know what you think about torso. Watch it. Bye.